Okay, so I want to make sure that we all understand where we are. We're talking about the decline of that very first civilization that began right up here by the Indus River Valley. That unbelievable civilization that had all of those incredible advancements. Okay? It's going to decline. But in its place, another civilization is going to be created. So this isn't the end. We're not moving on. And we learned some stuff about these Aryans. But our EQ, and I'm leaving the EQ up, and notice that just Mr. Uribe, we've got 2 EQs going on. Yeah, we are going to have for the next couple of lessons. Because our overall, our big EQ is I want us to understand how did that Aryan conquest, the Aryans pushing in, how did that change the culture of India? And it did. It was huge. Because we know, look back at your notes if you can't remember, that when the Aryans pushed in, they brought 3 things with them. 3 things. Tell me one thing.
Language.
They brought their language. What's something else that they brought with them? They brought their social system. Now, we got to always remember, anytime we talk social, what are we talking? These people. So they brought a way of organizing their people. Well, then what are we going to become a part of? Right, but if they're bringing their own social system, what are we going to be a part of? Their social system. And do you think they're going to put us up on the top? No, they're probably not. And then the last thing, what did they bring, Paul?
Religious beliefs.
They brought their religious beliefs. And you know, we didn't talk a lot about the religious beliefs of those early Indus River Valley people that we really talked about the last 2 days, but we have to believe they probably had one. But here come the Aryans. And they sweep us up. And then what happens to our religious beliefs? They maybe go away, or they collide and they come together, and then we're going to follow what? Theirs, the new one. So what's happened to their 3-class system now that they've pushed into India? What's happened to it, Ron? We've had to add another group. Okay, we've had to add another group. And that's what we're going to do today. We're going to talk about the religion aspects. That's our next lesson. The fact that the religion that they brought in, we learned they're polytheistic. We learned that they believe in many gods, but that eventually they put all of these gods together to form this one big powerful force. They brought in this social system called the caste system. All caste is a group, a category. What we're going to do is we're going to move around, okay, to different tables. You do not have to move as a group, but basically I'm going to let you rotate 6 times. And at every table, you'll see some colored pieces of paper. When you sit down, you're going to take yourself some notes about each one of these categories. You'll come up and you'll add one piece of information to one of these things that you've learned. Please do not write incomplete sentences. Write big enough that we can actually read them. What are you going to do when you finish early? You're going to read the books from the table, because I've gotten lots of them now. And you're going to share. Please don't move the books from table to table. Does everyone understand your assignment? Okay, we're going to begin. You may begin. Okay. Okay, thanks, Ron. That's awesome. later, you're okay. Yeah, I'm going to get this from my brain. This one's going to come from my brain after we talk about all of it. Okay? This is acid today. Byron. I think I'm going to go. You can bring your paper with you, Byron. Not sure it's because the camera's in here or what. Thank you. Congratulations, everybody that's in pink today. This is your lucky day. You're going to walk out of here with a pause book. No matter how you act or whether you do your work or not, I'm going to give you a pause book just because you had pink today. Oh, he's smiling. He's happy. Okay? Tomorrow, y'all walk in and say, hey, everybody, guess what? Hey, welcome, welcome, welcome. Everybody that's in white today is going to get a pause book. Just for being here, you're just going to get in white today because of a pause book. Originally, when I just mentioned the pink, every one of you that wasn't wearing pink thought that was what? Unfair, of course. Because I'm putting them in a group and treating them differently. But then after the day goes on and you figure the people in white get one, and then maybe the next day I say gray, pretty much you all figure out that eventually what's going to happen? We're all going to get a pause book because are my groups permanent? No, I'm just randomly calling out colors. Okay? And we group kids all the time in school. You know, I group you in tables all the time. Every quarter I switch where you're sitting. That is your group in social studies. But is that permanent? No. You know it's always going to change. Okay? That is so different than what happened in India when this new group came in and created this new social structure for the people. Who was that group? So looking at our notes real quickly, just doing a quick review. Who are we looking at? What was the group that came in and introduced this system? Byron. The Aryans. Okay? The Aryans came in and they're the ones that introduced this system into India. Very, very important that we understand. Unlike me changing your tables every quarter so that you get to work with other people, me saying, guess what? You know, you got gray on today, I'm going to give you a special treat. The ever-changing of who you sit by and that kind of stuff in school, in the caste system, that's very different. Because what you learned as you rotated to this table is what? Fair.
It's impossible to change.
It's impossible to change it. Castes are passed down through families for generations. So guess what? When your family is part of one of these castes, you're going to be the same caste, and it's going to be passed down from generation to generation. So guess what? They basically have done what to each of these castes? They've separated them. And do they want them to come together for any way, shape, or form? No, they don't. So let's talk about the castes that exist. You did a really good job up here. The first caste again is the what? Brahmin. Tell us some stuff we learned about the Brahmin.
They're the highest.
It's the highest caste. That's up there. Good. Something else we learned about the Brahmin. Kay?
They're priests, teachers, and teachers of Sanskrit.
They're the priests and the teachers of Sanskrit. And they're the ones that can teach about Sanskrit because why? Why are they the only ones that can actually teach Sanskrit, Ram? They're the only ones that learn because they're the only ones that can what? Go to school. Especially in when we're talking, the earlier times. Okay? Terrific. Something else. One more thing. Anything that anybody wants to tell me about the Brahmins?
Perform religious duties.
You're a priest, so they're the ones that perform the religious duties. Let's go. Sustriya. Everybody say it again. Sustria. Tell me something about the Sustria. Tell me anything you can tell me about the Sustria. I've got people in here who haven't raised their hand at all today. Every person in here has it written, so they need to participate. Let's go, Grant. One thing you tell me about the Sustria.
A part of the military and the ruling.
Yes. So look right here. I think this is so interesting. The ruling elite and the military. Ruling elite. Ruling elite. Who does that include? Ruling elite.
Congress.
Okay? Yeah? But who? Who's ruling elite? The kings. Your rulers. Your emperor. Whatever you're going to call them. They're the ruling elite. Your governors. Whoever. But it's so interesting. Because every other civilization we've studied, where have they been? At the top. But not here. Who have they put above them? The priests. That's going to have something to do with that religion that's coming in. Anybody want to say anything else about the Sustria? Nadia? They were warriors and they were army leaders. Good. The next one we have are the Vaesia. Everybody say it. Vaesia. Okay, good. Who can tell me about them? Hammy?
They owned their own business or farmland.
Yeah, here it is. Huge word. They were the owners. They owned those businesses. They owned that farmland. Excellent. We got some hands up. Gavin.
There were traders, cattle farmers, minor officials, merchant, and artisans.
Excellent. I'm going to put this on because it's not up there. Minor officials. Man, these are what I would call in today's terms, these are what we consider the professionals. Okay, oh, minor officials is over here. It's just there. Sorry, I missed that. Okay, those are our professionals. The professional people. They own their own business. Okay, they own their own farmland. Here are your merchants and your artisans and your traders. And when we talk farmers here, they don't do the work as much as they what? They own the farm. Something else, David, you want to say about the Vaesias?
There are more people in Vaesia than the others.
Okay. Well, in the two above it, there's more people, but not totally. Okay, but in the two above it, there's more people. And as you see in our social structure, what does happen as we go down? It gets bigger and bigger because, let's face it, do the people that are up here, that are special and up here, do they want lots of them? No, they're special. And if there's lots of them, they wouldn't be so special anymore. Okay, so we're going to stop right there because there's something very important that I need to share with you about the caste system structure that we have. So guess what? All of we, people of that Indus River Valley civilization, that first advanced civilization that came into India, that we got swept up by the Aryans and became a part of their society. Are we going to fit in one of those? No. We're not. They're not going to put us in one of those top 3 groups. So all of us are going to be which caste? The Sudra. The Sudra. So these are your non-Aryans. The Sudras, the non-Aryans. Those first people that were from Mohenjo-daro and Harappa, they got put into that caste. So what is our life like as a Sudra? What is our life like? Describe it. What is on there? Describe that life. Caleb. It's hard, but describe. What is it? What do we do? Sydney.
They didn't own land or businesses.
We did not own the land or the businesses that we worked for. Charlie. We were servants or farmhands. This is your caste system. Right here, these 4. No, not yet. We're not there yet. Okay? So this is the deal. To help us remember this, there's a little song that we're going to talk about. But before we sing it, I've got to explain it to you. Remember we read yesterday, and we said that when the Aryans came in with this religion, they were polytheistic. Well, they believed in many gods of nature, all kinds of different gods. Gods of sky, water, earth, even God of war, Indra. But over time, all of these different gods, they have lots of them, but they all come together to form this one big, powerful force on earth that they called something. What did they call it? Brahman. So isn't it interesting that they call Brahman and call their top caste is also Brahman, the priests. And so in this religion, they began to say, well, you know what? Brahman created this. That's going to be really interesting. You really need They're taking social structure and what are they linking it with? Religion. And we were going to really talk about that. Okay, so Brahman created this. And so what they said was, okay, so Brahman, this part of the social class, it's at the top. It is Brahman's head. It is the brain, it is the speaking, the mouth part of because think about it. They are the smart ones, they're the educated ones, and they're the ones that speak the religion. Sustria, they said, were the shoulders and the arms. They're the ones that hold up this top head part. They said that the Vaisha, those are the legs of Brahman, this force, okay? These are your professional people who go out into the world and start businesses on land. And they said Sudra are the feet, the working people, the people that get out there and actually get the job done. These people might create the jobs, but who actually gets out there and does the work? The Sudra. So you've got Brahman, Sustria, Vaisha, Sudra, feet. Brahman, Sudra, Vaisha, Sudra, Vaisha, Sudra. Brahman, Sudra, Vaisha, Sudra, Vaisha, Sudra. Brahman, Sudra, Vaisha, Sudra, Vaisha, Sudra. So the EQ that I was doing today was how did the Aryan invasion change the culture of northern India, but we were focusing in on just strictly the caste system. And I chose to teach this by something that I call musical tables. Of course, we didn't have the music for copyright, but that's okay. And the main reason that I chose to do it this way is it gets the kids up and it gets them moving. So they're still just getting the information, but instead of me just giving it to them or them sitting and reading, they're actually getting up and moving. One of the things that I would say is when I do an activity like this, I always have books on the table because I always have kids that finish sooner than anyone else. And to keep them from distracting others or just sitting there and doing nothing, I always have books on the table that deal with the topic so that they can get more information. And the other piece of advice that I would give is that you always have to reflect. Okay? Lesson plans, lesson delivery, any of that stuff. The books on the table came for me a little bit late last year. I had to reflect on that I was losing some of the kids, and when I did activities like this, so that's where the books on the table came from, that keeps them occupied. I would love to say that you can create a lesson and you can use it every year. Just take it out, pull it out of your nice slot, and it's there. But I'm constantly marking out stuff, drawing arrows, changing things. And part of it's for the kids, part of it's because I've figured out things that work and things that don't, and part of it's also just for me. It keeps me interested in the lessons, and it's just not the same old thing. So.